The TSi design is pretty amazing, frankly. You know, we start with the engine with the Rotax 915 IS, turbocharged. It gives us phenomenal performance. And we live in Arizona. As everybody knows, it's hot in Arizona, especially in the summer. So density, altitude will be much less of a factor with that engine. So that's where we start. But the rest of the aircraft, the flight controls, everything is, it's sort of a pilot's dream. The flight characteristics, it's mellow stall behavior, the maneuverability is amazing. The fuel efficiency is a huge factor for us. 7.5 to 8 gallons per hour is phenomenal. We briefly considered a Cirrus or a Diamond, not even close. And for a much higher, upfront cost as well. The Sling is really the smart man's Cirrus. So that was very appealing to us as well. The comfort, the interior space, being able to fly on these longer cross-country flights, and even though there's a lot of distance we're covering, we can go visit my daughter in eastern Arkansas from Arizona and get there in 5 or 6 hours. That's pretty amazing performance. So all of those factors with the Sling, it just really was the plane for us. So one of the things that's really cool about the TSi kit is that we got to put the kind of avionics in and design the panel that we wanted. And nearly all of the Sling TSi builders work with Midwest panel, and Midwest is just awesome. Steve and Adam and all of their team do really amazing work. And so we got a great design that we iterated on with them. It's a Garmin panel. Really well designed, well put together. They're tightly integrated, so everything is talking to everything else. And that level of integration provides some really powerful capabilities, whether it's the autopilot being totally coupled for approaches, the takeoff go-around kind of capability. It's just really phenomenal. And we also will have our iPads in the cockpit with us for additional situational awareness and planning capability. So the Garmin avionics was just the start of it. A few of the things that we did that are fairly unique, probably the most obvious one, if you look closely at the panel, you'll notice that there's a push to talk on the left and the right side. And we thought that might be kind of handy to have when we're flying on autopilot and we don't want to touch the stick. It's sometimes easier just press that button on the panel to transmit on the radio. We've got the new warning caution light that you can depress to acknowledge the indication. You still have information about what the fault is on the G3X screen, but you can disable or turn off that light, which is kind of handy. We've got our Smart Glide button to enable the Garmin Smart Glide system in the event that we add an engine out. We could press that button and it'll automatically find the best and closest airport and engage the autopilot to take us there. Got a button to enable our oxygen system and oxygen ports for all 4 seat locations. And we've got the GTN 650xi navigator, so fully IFR capable, and it's fully coupled with the autopilot. So a high level of automation is possible with the flying. We added an additional alternator for redundancy, so we have the 2 alternators with the Rotax engine, as well as the third external alternator for high-level redundancy. And then beyond that, there's 2 batteries for the avionics systems, and then additionally the G5, which is our backup flight instrument, has its own battery. So we've got effectively an electric airplane for all of these amazing avionics, and we wanted to have a high level of redundancy to power those, so we've got that as well. One last button is the takeoff go around, the toga button. So if we're flying an approach and we need to go missed, we can just press that button and that kind of starts the automation for flying the missed approach, again reducing pilot workload. Quite a bit there. I guess one other thing I should mention is the VPX, the virtual circuit breakers. So we have an uncluttered panel and there's no circuit breakers on the panel. It's all done virtually through that VPX system, and it's very easy to manage those through the integration with the Garmin G3X Touch. We got a very customized and very powerful and flexible panel design, and we're just, again, super excited about this. So with the tail number, pilots often have a reason for the tail number, and we certainly do. My son, his name was Alex Richardson, and he was born in February of 1997. Sadly, he passed away a few years ago in an automobile accident. And we selected the tail number to honor him. And every time we're talking to ATC, we will have that memory, of him. It's a way to sort of remember and to honor him. He was a really special kid. So this was something we were really happy when we were able to secure the number. We got a message that the kit had arrived in late June, and we got out here in mid-July to get started, and Brenda got here first. I was on a business trip, so Brenda got here and was immediately put to work riveting and putting skins on the wing and working on flats and ailerons.
These are my rivets.
and she did a lot of this work, and then I got out here and started putting seats together and some of the flight control pieces and so forth, and it's been awesome. Everybody here has been, really a joy to work with. The attention to detail and the interest in having everything just be perfect has just been amazing. And for us to get in and actually do some of this work, we've gotten some really great instruction, and everybody's very careful to monitor the work that we're doing and make sure we don't mess things up. But we've only had to re-drill a few rivets, so that was good.
Yeah.
But no, it's been great. We've learned so much, and being able to be here and be a part of the process and learn how everything goes together and what's underneath all the different parts has been really good. I know that's going to be helpful for us in years to come as we maintain the airplane. We know how it's put together. One of the things that's been really awesome for us, we're new pilots. So we started our journey a year and a half ago. And it was actually Brenda's idea, let's learn to fly. And I said, I'd like to do that. Can I do that? So we both decided to do that. And we started learning everything we could and started our flying lessons. But we said, we're going to want a plane. And what kind of plane should we get? And we did all sorts of research. And we found some really cool YouTube videos about the Sling TSi, and so that looks like that could be the plane. It met our requirements. We like to go on adventures. We ride motorcycles, we go scuba diving, and so this would, kind of take it up to a whole nother level. So we came out here and met Jean and some of the other folks out here in Torrance at the airplane factory, and had an amazing demo flight. Went out to Catalina Island, and I got to fly on the way there, and Brenda got to fly on the way back, and it was an amazing experience. So we put the order in, and then we had to be patient. But we did.
That's the hardest part.
It really is. But we got the call in June and came out. Meanwhile, we had been taking our flying lessons, and that was coming along. We were continuing with our flight instruction, but we wanted to be here to participate actively in the build. So we decided we'll kill two birds with one stone, so to speak, and participate in the build and continue our flying instruction here. So
The Sling Academy, yeah.
with the pilot academy, and we're club students, so we're not actually part of the academy. And with the added benefit of learning to fly in a Sling 2, which is almost the same as a TSi. It's got the technically advanced, cockpit with it's all glass, which is important to us. Here at Sling have been phenomenal. The instruction, the quality of instruction, the busy airspace, and our confidence level is so high now that we're going to be very safe and proficient pilots with the TSi, so we're really grateful for that as well. Well, we're expecting, so the plane is effectively completed here, in the finishing hangar. There's a few little details that the guys are working on, but it's going to go on a truck out to French Valley here within a few days, and then it gets the airworthiness inspection, and then first flight. And
Flight testing, yeah.
If we're lucky, that'll happen sometime next week. And Kelso, the chief test pilot, is going to fly some of that initial flight test. We'll be able to be with him for most of that. And then we're going to fly off the remainder of the hours, and we're going to do that as quickly as we can because we want to get the plane and go on our adventures. So over the next few weeks, that's what happens.
There's many things that I really, really enjoyed. I think my favorite initial part was coming here and learning how to rivet. I didn't even know what a rivet was, so it was just so basic. And then I realize now how important that little part is, so that was super fun. And just everything how it goes together, how everybody works together, the process of how it comes from the initial kit to this beautiful plane with the gate and everything, and how involved we were. But I think my favorite part was, the relationships that are built with all of the people here. They were very, very concerned and really wanted us to be part of it, which I was kind of surprised, because I was thinking they're not going to want us in here messing with things. But we always felt included, we always felt welcome. And that was probably my favorite thing as far as the build. Flying is amazing. I can't wait to get in my plane and fly. I've always kind of wanted to learn to fly. So it's always been there. And when I retired, I was just looking for a bucket list, right? I have a couple of bucket lists in my life, and this was one of them. So I just took a discovery flight up in Northern California in Lincoln, and it was like, wow, this is amazing. I would like to continue this, but life got complicated. We ended up moving to Arizona, and then once we were settled, looking around beautiful Sedona, Arizona, right next to the Grand Canyon, like, yeah, I want to kind of finish that, and started taking lessons. So mostly, why? Just the adventure part of it and seeing the beautiful parts of the country from up high.
Yeah. All about the adventure. For me, I started my career out of college at General Dynamics, and I was working as an engineer with F-16s and F-111s. And I would have loved to have learned to fly back then, but I couldn't really afford it. It wasn't the right time, and then family and life happened. So here I am a few years later, and Brenda brings it up, and it's like, I'd like to do that too. So here we are.
Here we are.
We have several trips we'll be making in the next few months. We're going to go to Astoria, Oregon, where her middle daughter is a Coast Guard helicopter pilot.
Yeah.
So we're going to go visit her and her baby's baptism, so our grandchild. And then we're going to make a few trips, go to Northern California, go out to Arkansas and Texas, Cape Cod. I want to fly to Oshkosh, so that's on the list for late July. And I've got a high school reunion in August in Arkansas that we're going to go to as well. So we've got a list of things we're going to be putting the hours on. Why the TSi? Well, for one, again, the mission. We wanted to go cross country. We wanted a plane that would be fuel efficient, would be fast, would be safe and fun to fly, and the TSi checks all of those boxes. Frankly, the high wing would have checked those boxes as well. High wing was new a year ago, and the availability was, quite a long wait list.
We're impatient.
So we're not patient. The clock is ticking, and we wanted to learn to fly and start flying. So the TSi is where we've landed